Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joy at Work. It's me again. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're safe and sound. Well, I apologize for the voice allergies. It's the spring here in Georgia, and allergies are really kicking my butt, if I might say. But I'm here. I'm going to try and deliver. Big week for the Gunners. Arsenal, Arsenal, Arsenal. But big week beating Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Like, just great. And I could talk about that, but this is not what this is about. This is about joy at work and how we can do things to help us experience joy at work. And I often get feedback that says, look, we're part of larger groups. It's not all under any individual's control. And all those things are true. I've said this several times that for me, this is a both and conversation. There is the environment that you belong to that needs to be in a certain way, and there are things we need to do as well. So it's not we just abdicate ourselves of any responsibility. It's we show up and try to do the things we can do to influence the situation we find ourselves to the best of our ability. So that's what this is about. We're joy at work. We're trying to find ways to experience more joy at work. And we're going to continue to talk about pausing and the unhurried approach to work. Recently, I was talking with somebody about a meeting and the urgency that had been exhibited by some people in that meeting to just get to an answer immediately. And that's the pressure of the workplace. We're trying to move so quick, we're trying to get answers and just move on. And I'd offer that often because we don't take our time to deliberate and to discuss and allow people to share their thoughts and perspectives, we don't make the decisions we need to make. Now, a lot of people are critical of some of the approaches that are heavy consensus building because it means you have to walk around and talk to people and convince people. And it can take some time to make a decision. And there are some times where you just need to have a bias for action. When your house is burning down, you're not going to waste asking yourself time wasting asking yourself questions. You're going to leave the house as quickly as possible. So the context, the situation, what's at stake is very important. But I think, and my experience is that our approach to work often mimics or tries to create an urgency that is just false. Everything is treated as if the house is burning and we need to get out immediately. And so people go into meetings where we're supposed to make decisions, wanting the decision made in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Now, there are ways you could get to this if you gave people time to review the material ahead of time. But because we're so busy, people can't even review the material ahead of time. So, a great practice sometimes is to let people come into a meeting, provide them context, and then give them an opportunity to reflect and think about what it is that is about to be discussed or what is about to be decided. That way, people have the time to prepare and put themselves in a place where they can actually make a positive contribution. I often wonder how many decisions are poorly made because we just made the decision too fast. It is true that there's a category of situation where the next step is not that obvious, it's not that clear, and we just have to do something. That's true, that happens, that's life. But is that all of our situations? I don't think so. I think sometimes if we just moved a little bit slower, we'd learn the things we need to learn. We'd get the information we need to get. We'd move from this space of unknown unknowns, if you will, to a space of known knowns if we just slowed down and took a little time. And this is true as well when we think about experience. It's John Dewey who suggested this, and I'll talk about this probably next week, that we don't really as much learn from experience. We learn from reflecting on the experiences we've had. But the only way you can learn from reflection is to stop, is to pause. And we don't do a good job of that. It's go, 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 go. Think about it. When teams gather together to do offsites and to plan for the future, what percentage of the time is spent reflecting on the past and just asking questions about what worked, what didn't work, what needs to be strengthened, what the team needs to do less of? How much time is given to reflection versus what's the next thing? And as a result, often as individuals and teams, we carry bad habits and bad patterns with us into the future because we're not giving ourselves enough time to reflect and address those things that are pulling us back. So here I'm on this point about talking about the unhurried approach to work, getting the pause. And I think really doing that and being intentional about that and finding the time in the day, in the week to pause and reflect as an individual and as a team, it can only help you just experience more joy at work. So hopefully you take something from that. Let me know. Have you found ways to introduce pauses? When people try to speed you up, how do you slow them down? People try to rush you to make a decision. How do you say, hold on a second, let's think about this? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Till next time, be well. Go Gunners.